All right, mic check. 1, 2, check the mic. Esoteric here live. Voice is sign up. Special guest here on your show. Honorable Moin is my special guest this afternoon on Voice is sign up. Let's see. We can do our quick entertainment here while we build our audience. We send uh, the request to my guest shortly so that we can start our interaction. But in the meantime, let's see. Let me play some music.
Medio, 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 muyo kwea bosia.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself around the world. This is the voice of SINOE in the diaspora. I have a special guest on the platform. this afternoon from my end, and his name is Reverend Solomon. Manneh Muin is my special guest this afternoon, and we're going to be talking about different issues, an array of issues relative to Liberia, specifically Montserrado County Electoral District number 17. And that's why my guest is going to be vying in that district. So we want to be talking about district number 17. And so as you get on, please share the link for us. We would do appreciate that. Invite your friends so that they can be part of the conversation. My guest is backstage, and I want to just do something back here quickly. And the next time you see me, and I will be bringing my guest on, but I will be right back. Let me see what I can change this song and put another. It's the same thing, but I think let's play the national anthem one, or yeah, that would be better. And Motown, you can join the show. Send the link in the chat room so that you guys can participate. You and Sarah. Let's see here quickly. I want to check something. Make sure I don't play the same thing. Okay, good. That's the one I want. So let me go in studio and share that link for us with us shortly to play that one more time. And I'll do some sharing. Please don't hesitate to share the show as well. Let's go here. And I will play from here.
Glorious land of liberty, all hail, Liberia hail.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, to wherever you find yourself around the world. You are on SINOE County premier platform with voices SINOE, Dark Side, Poder, Esoteric. I'm your host. This afternoon, I am suffused with euphoria to bring another brain of our country, a man that wants to come in the Capitol building to make some reforms for us. He thought some things are wrong, especially in his district, Montserrado County District number 17. So he has put himself forward to bring a lot of ideas, and we're going to be exploring those ideas this afternoon. So feel free to participate. There's a number on the screen that you can call, and I'll also bring you in. You can also call me from Messenger. I will also pick up your call me from WhatsApp. You can also participate on the show. But before I bring my guests on, I like to do quick commercial here before I bring the great man on. He's backstage right now. All right, so just a reminder, our brother and sister, that's Claro, Manneh, and Tina. The wedding is scheduled for July the 8th, 2023 in Des Moines, Iowa. And we encourage you to be part of that great occasion. I will be there. Dr. Ayopuda will be in Iowa for that wedding of these beautiful individuals. Also in the city of Philadelphia, we have Marie and Goni. Their wedding is also scheduled for July the 22nd, 2023. It will be held in Philadelphia, July the 22nd, 2023. That's Marie and Goni wedding is coming out. So don't miss that. Also, we also want to bring to your attention the Syncon community in the Americas. Their national convention is also coming up pretty soon, as you can see on the flyer. It starts on Thursday, which is June the 8th, 2023, and it runs to the 10th. So secure that weekend. It will be fantastic here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The National Convention of the USAA flyer is not up yet, but we also want to remind you the National Convention of the United Sapphire Association in Americas is scheduled for August the 4th, the third weekend. Save that weekend for the National Convention in Minnesota. All right, so these are things that I want to bring to your attention. But before you see the flyer here. That's my special guest over there, and he is backstage right now to talk to us. But before I bring the man on one more thing, I'll be right back. All right, so we just wanted to reiterate this breaking news. The representative of SINOE County Electoral District number 3, Honorable Matthew Zaza, was recently received a doctorate degree in development from St. Michael's Christian University in these United States. So Honorable Matthew Zaza, the representative of SINOE County Electoral District number 3, he is now a doctor of development, and him occupies the building from St. Michael's Christian University in the United States, specifically the state of New York. All right, that was the program the other day was held at the Capitol building. And so again, we want to say congratulations to the honorable lawmaker of SINOE County Electoral District number 3 for the huge accolade, as you say. All right, so now without further ado, I want to bring this thing down and invite my distinguished guests on the show so we can start our interaction. Let me see here and bring on my title. Honorable Muin, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I think I'm okay now.
Okay, now I am hearing you.
Yeah, how you
Good
doing, brother?
afternoon.
It's a pleasure to be on your show once more. And so the peace-loving people of SINOE County, I say good afternoon. The people of Liberia, good afternoon. The people of District number 17 in Montserrado County, I say good afternoon. And all of our well-wishers and the team Umbrella, that is doing that seriously. Well in our district to ensure that we can reach out to our people. As also say, good afternoon, and wherever you are, it's my pleasure to be part of this show, where my brother will be, trying to poke me into understanding what my intentions are, and as it relates to my vision for transformation in the 17th district of Montserrado County. Thank you so much, brother.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. So that's my special guest, and that's Reverend Solomon Muin. I hopefully I pronounced that last name correctly.
Let me pronounce it for you. It's Muin.
Muin.
Like in crew, we call it Muin.
What does that mean? Like translated into
Yeah,
English?
just pronounce. I've just caught a mosquito. How do you call mosquito in crew?
Oh, okay, okay, mosquito. Let me see what I can get my audio, my headphones on here. All right,
Yeah. So
excellent.
yeah.
You are saying
So
something? Go ahead.
it's basically Muin, like a moon in. So it's Muin.
Okay, Moin. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So, but what I want to do here is, I know you just give us some brief statement and stuff of that nature. I want to do official self introduction, or opening statement before we delve into the issues tonight, this afternoon.
Okay. So I was born in Banjo. Banjo is one of the major town in the township of Virginia, and Virginia is in the district 17 in Montserrado County. Banjo is along the Atlantic Ocean, some beautiful traditional place. I was born to a great man, Reverend Stephen Moin Jr., who has gone to rest of the Lord, and my mother, Esther Neiman Dan, or Esther Dan Neiman. And my father came from SINOE County. His father and mother came from SINOE County. He's from the Sapo tribe. And he also mixed with the Crew tribe too because his mother is a Crew. My mother, father came from Nima County, a Mano man. And her mother also comes from, how you call it, Bon County. So she's mixed with Mano and how you call it, and Pele. So they all were born right in that place called Lower Virginia. She was born in Simples Bridge. My father was born in Banjo, and the two of them came to know each other, and they produced me, Solomon. And I was raised in that place. Went in the bushes, went in the swamp, the waters to fish, to find wood, and to do all of the things that is related to bringing up young men in that place. We played soccer. We went to the church. And we went to walk about throughout the length and breadth of that district. And by the grace of God, we attended the public school, the only public school that was in that place. It was the Banjo Public School. And after we were promoted to the fourth grade, we went to the Sarah Barkley. It's also another school, but it's across the quota in a place called Zetan. So from Barkley, we went to Cimeris, where we did our elementary schooling and up to the senior high. Then we moved into College of West Africa where we graduated. So after graduation, being called by the Lord, we went and pursued our seminary degree in theology. And then as pastor, we pastored the new Tabernacle Don Stewart Christ Pentecostal Church in Loganton. And I'm part of the Don Stewart Christ Pentecostal Church family in Liberia. And while at the church, we were involved with the peace work in Liberia, where I work with the Interreligious Council of Liberia as its youth coordinator for youth program, and also an executive of the Liberian Council of Churches. And working with the Interreligious Council of Liberia, it enabled us to work with the West African Interreligious Coordinating Committee in West Africa, comprises of Ghana, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone. So we're the coordinator for the youth program of those 5 countries. More to that, we also were able to organize the African Youth Network, where we had an establishment in Kenya, and we had the Christians and Muslims working together, Christians and Muslims you're working together for peace in Africa. We're also part of the World Conference on Religion for Peace, and where we were invited to speak at the 8th General Assembly in Kyoto, Japan. From our performance and the rest of it, we were given a scholarship to travel to the United States, where we studied peace and conflict. Um, from there, we pursued our masters in peace and conflict transformation. Not being satisfied with the need for Liberia development, we pursued another degree in sustainable development. We work in the diaspora with our Liberian churches, the Liberian Ministers Association of the Delaware Valley, and the Liberian Ministry Alliance of North America. We serve as its Secretary General and ensuring that our churches can work together and bring our community together to advocate for things on the behalf and the rest of it. So currently, I work with the All for All agency. Is an agency that I work to promote immigrant empowerment and youth empowerment as well. I'm also part of the Delaware County Immigrant Coalition, where we ensure that the voice of immigrants are heard in this part of Pennsylvania. And with all of these things, we are who we are, a devout Christian, but more like one who believes in peace and social justice. And it's been our goal to ensure that those who we work with are impacted by the things we do and to ensure that we can have a better society. So basically, that's a gist of who I am, Solomon, and it's a pleasure to be on your show again.
Excellent. That's a fantastic introduction. It's a mouthful. It's a rich resume. So, ladies and gentlemen, you seeing the man that I have on the platform. He comes to a lot. So, Reverend, let me put it this way, though. I studied people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Desmond Tutu from South Africa. Are you there?
I'm right there with you.
Okay, and I read about, I'm talking about religious leaders. I read about Gandhi from India. And these people, they made greater impact in the world without serving in politics. They were serving in their capacity as religious leader, and they made profound impact. Like Desmond Tutu, for example, he got a Nobel Prize and stuff of that nature. Dr. King as well. Why do you want to leave? The edifice of the Lord to go in the political auditorium?
Well, sometimes in life we look at what you call vision and not the process. So God gives the vision, but the process to achieve that vision is different. So the vision of like the Desmond Tutu, the Mahatma Gandhi, the how you call it, the Martin Luther King, they had a purpose. So to everybody is attached and to everybody is attached a purpose, and but the process to that purpose is different. So Desmond Tutu, in a way of achieving peace and stability in South Africa, was to remain in his capacity. Likewise, the Martin Luther King, the Mahatma Gandhi, and the rest of it. But don't forget, Mahatma Gandhi became Prime Minister of India. So I'm saying this to say that while it is true that we have similar goal, the process to achieving our goal may be different, but we come with that same passion, that same care, that same empathy towards bringing social justice for all of us who are God's children, made in the image and likeness of God, to enjoy the beauty of creation in the place God has assigned them. So our job is just part of the mission of God for His children.
So in other words, if I'm hearing you correctly, you are saying your purpose, your mission is to make an impact in the Capitol building rather than the church?
Now the church. Now we're looking at holistically. The songwriter said, "If I can help somebody as I walk through life long road, if I can do God's duty, what is God's duty? To ensure that we, as a human being, live in this fullness of life. Now, other people will choose which area to work to make that impact. Now, if the need is there, why can't you raise your voice and help your people to raise their voices and ensure that their basic social needs are met? It's one thing to be a part of a process where you'll be a religious leader. Now, don't forget, I work in a religious cycle. I still work in a religious cycle. I serve as the Secretary General of the Liberian Ministers Association of the Delaware Valley. I serve as a program coordinator and manager of the the Liberian Ministerial Alliance in North America. I work with the how you call them, the Liberian Council of Churches as its executive. I work with the Interreligious Council as youth coordinator. We're involved in the peace process of Liberia. So I mean, we serve in those areas. Now, if the need for leadership is there in our place, being qualified in the area of development, being qualified in the area of conflict transformation, being qualified in the area of community mobilization, policy advocacy, and all these things make up our curriculum, make up the who we are. My brother, it's not prudent when the people call you, listen to the call of the people and help them to ensure that those basic, like showing the example that we can do it. We are human, but we can do it. There's no excuse for not doing what people need. People needs are. So our job is to answer the call and lift our people's voices and ensure that the basic social indicators of life is experienced by them in their time of living.
Okay, so but Robin, let me piggyback on that again. So, what is it that I mean? I follow your splendid resume in the religious arena. What is it that you have achieved or you are not achieving in the religious setting that you want to achieve in the Capitol building?
Representation is important. Now, who are those in the Capitol building? Those in the Capitol building are the embodiment of the voices of the people that they represent. They are, we call them the duty bearer and the right holders. The right holders are the people who surrender their right to the duty bearer to say represent us in that Capitol building and speak on our behalf and ensure that our basic necessity is gotten by us. Because all of us can sit in that one seat. So we choose you as a person to be the one who will represent. It doesn't. No one was trained to become a representative. A representative is not to one group of people. Anybody can be represented. It has 5 basic characteristics that people look at: integrity, leadership, experience, empathy, and the connection. If the people see in you that these things are in you and you can represent it adequately, regardless of you being in the ministerial area or in the business area, whatever area you find yourself in, once your skills are in you and people see it and you are shown an example working with them, and they say, be our voice. So you represent the aspiration and then you become the embodiment of the people in that place called the Capitol building. You become the light, you become the hope. You ensure that other people see what you do and inspire that change throughout the length and breadth of Liberia.
Okay, but Robin, let me ask a question. Were you called in the church?
When I was called in the church?
Yeah, to be a pastor. Were you called by the Lord to be in the church?
I was not just called, I was called and ordained. I was called. Okay, so I was called and enabled by God. The president of Liberia, the William R. Turnbull, he was a minister of the gospel.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is, okay, so the answer to the question is yes, you were called by the Lord in the church. But you just also told me that you were called by the people to represent them in the Capitol building. So which one is greater? Which one is greater? I mean, are you leaving the call of God to go to the voice of the people? Which one is greater here?
No, don't forget now. Don't forget. You are mixing two things with common misunderstanding right there. Hold on.
Now, please clarify for me.
Definitely. Being called by God, he has many missions in his calling. If it is now, I've come to America, I've been here in America for the longest. I would have opened church like all of my friends are doing here, if this was what I wanted to do to settle. But this desire for development was part of my own calling. Even when I was pastor, I was ensuring that development is achieved in the place of work. Now, we've been trained in the area of development. We've been trained now. Whose life are you changing? Whose life are you impacting? It's not God's image. It's not people creating God's image life you impacting in the field. Don't distinguish, political life from religious life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
While it's true that religion is the cream of all of them, but it's a good thing when people take on the mantle to show what can be done. People of integrity can show what can be done, show that leadership, that empathy, and transform society. You understand? I'm not, God forbid, I cannot disassociate myself from that high calling. And the high calling has mission attached to it. So what I'm doing is also part of the mission of that high calling.
Okay, excellent. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, my special guest is Reverend Muin. He's my special guest this afternoon on Voice Sano. So, but Reverend, before we go to the cream of today's discussion, I just wanted to get your opinion on the incident that happened on Sunday with respect to the lawmakers from Manneh County, Senator Prince Johnson, his compound. Uh, Supporters believed to be from the opposition, not opposition, but from the ruling party, CDC, or the coalition. The guys gathered in the compound and they disturbed it. I mean, what do you make of that incident?
I'm a peacemaker. I condemn every act of violence, whether verbal or physical. It's not good for our society. I believe our president have created a space where we can have a healthy exchange of our views without verbally and going against somebody or disturbing the peace of the next person. So what I've witnessed, I don't think it was healthy for our democracy. We can exchange, we can exchange our ideas. Give Senator Johnson the space to talk about what he want to talk about in his own space. You can use your space and talk about what you want to talk about. But to go in his space, we are all protected by law. It's because we don't want our space to be disturbed. That's why we have government. Now, if Senator Johnson disturb your peace in his space, stay in your peace and respond, but not to go and disturb and disrupt his peace because you think that he's against or he's talking against your interests. I don't think it's healthy for our democracy. I condemn it in the highest form, and I pray that it doesn't repeat itself. We can agree to disagree. We can
Yeah.
have discussion in a more mature way than than what I saw yesterday. Through the social media.
All right, excellent. That's. I just wanted to get your view on that. All right. So, Reverend, let get to your platform. I think that's why important. So, I call it navigating the umbrellas legislative agenda. But first of all, why you call yourself umbrella though? Why umbrella?
Okay, I was born on the 31st of October. But before I was born, my grandfather, who is Stephen Muin, prayed for a son from God. He never had any children, but he prayed that God gave him a son. And this was his prayer all through his life until his wife had a kid, and the kid was a boy that was named after my grandfather Stephen Muin, but his name is Wilbur. Wilbur in Crew mean the row is close. Now, when Wilbur was born, Wilbur too had his first son. My grandfather named him Nanetu, like a walking stick. He said, I'm old, you will be the walking stick of me and the family. So I became the second child that was born. And when I was born, I was also named Joblede, the umbrella. And my grandfather prophetically called me that name. He said, I will be the umbrella for them. When it's raining, I will be the one who will cover them from that rain. When the sun is too hot, I will be the one to cover them. So umbrella is my name given to me by my grandfather. He also called me Solomon, the one we use in school, and the one we use whom is umbrella. The people all through my place in Banja call me umbrella, and this is the only name I know. And and surprisingly, when I was coming up, I was good In the soccer era, I used to be a goalkeeper.
Okay.
So it became a nickname that was tied to my own way of playing soccer and the rest of it. So umbrella just became umbrella. Yeah.
So politically, the umbrella, what does it mean?
So now umbrella symbolizes protection. And like I said, I never knew too much the meaning of that name. And my father never called me any other name besides umbrella. My mother never called me anything beside that umbrella. They were saying something to me I never knew until the revelation came in this time when we found ourselves in a place where I'm the reign of poverty. It's just on our people. We got stopped. We found ourselves in the place of hardship, like heated sun, burn our people. They need emancipation. They need this thing to be stopped. And in the midst of them all, it was inspired upon me that this is the time for this umbrella to go and stand and cover the people from that reign of poverty. God said, I've inspired you and I gave you the opportunity to land in this area that our people so desired. It is now time that you go back and become the umbrella to at least save our people from that reign of poverty, of hardship.
Okay, so let me poke down a little bit. Let me challenge that. Okay, umbrella. I think it's a temporary solution. If it is raining, depending on the gravity of the rain, I
Mm.
mean, your top part might not get wet, but every time you cover yourself with umbrella, your feet would definitely get wet. So, are you only concerned about the top, or how strong is an umbrella? Like you say, right now you're talking about the rain of poverty, and the heavy sun is shining on our people. Do you think umbrella is the right equipment to bring to our people, given that, say, for example, you have a tsunami? You can't hold an umbrella; it will wipe it from your hand. Can
Now,
umbrella save us here?
that's a good philosophical injection in the process. But look, if I want to leave to go to my car and it's raining, when I walk to go to my car or to walk from my house to go to the next house, I will surely be wet. I'll be beat, my clothes will be wet, and I'll be very uncomfortable. So the umbrella takes you from one end to the other end to where you want to be. That safety you want to find yourself. The umbrella is there to ensure that you are covered from that rain, so that rain won't make you to be out of the number. My brother, take for example, if you go to a program and the program have people waiting for you, and it's raining, you're out of the car and you walk in to go to where you want to go. The rain will even wet you. When you even go to that program, you will have the chance, the heart of sitting down because you are already wet. And that wetness can bring even sickness to you. So the umbrella it covers you. It covers you and ensures that it takes you from one point to the other point so that you won't be wet and the wetness can take you into sickness and the rest of it. So the covering is there. You understand? So it's important. Why it is true that you talk about the feet. Look, when the umbrella covers you, it covers you from that wetness. So that shame
But
of
that is
being
that
wet.
holistic, Reverend. It's not
Look,
holistic.
let's not debate that.
No,
Why it is true that
the reason I'm challenging that, Reverend,
uh-huh,
the people of Liberia, they have been grappling with poverty for a long time, since 1847 up to this point. And,
definitely.
and what I'm hearing from the umbrella approach that you are bringing is something temporary. And I think we
No.
need something long lasting and durable. It's that umbrella that will be blown away by winds. The corrosion of wind might take the umbrella from us. Who knows?
Now, there's why this umbrella here is stronger than you think. If you notice, when you go to our villages, our house is built in the shape of an umbrella. It's a covering, it's a shelter. A shelter. It's not just literally this umbrella that you're going to hold, but it's a shelter from the storm, the shelter from the rain, the shelter from the sun, and every danger thing. It's protection. That's why it symbolizes a shelter, a covering that will protect you from these things.
Okay,
So
excellent, Reverend.
you are looking at the physical umbrella, but not the meaning of the umbrella. So I
Okay,
want
but
you to look at the meaning.
if I have somebody bringing house as a shelter and somebody bringing umbrella, I'm more likely to go with the person with the house because I think
Oh my
house.
God. Then there is debated also too. It's
Yes.
debated also too. So what I'm saying that the umbrella is more like a shelter that covers you from these things. Protect is more like protection and a shelter of covering. So until somebody can bring house, I bring my umbrella. I will protect my and shelter my people, protect them from this. Look, my brother. I mean, why is it true that we are delving more into the meaning of the name, but our people are facing severe. How do I call it? Pain, and we need as a people to take back home those basic skills, knowledge we've learned on the side that prepare us to be adequately prepared to help our people be lifted from where they find themselves. I will live my life in shame when they walk me to my grave, when I can't do the impactful thing amongst our people. My father, my grandfather, they work to do the things they're supposed to do. My grandfather, they were involved in having the first public school in that place. My father was involved in having another legislative program, youth program. He even taught at the school for the deaf, handicapped, ensuring that he can impact the life of people who were considered deaf and dumb. So, I mean, he gave his life to making sure that people are counted amongst other people. No one is left out of society. And these things have inspired me in Solomon. Umbrella. In this time and dispensation, I'll tell you a story. I went back home for my brother's funeral. But before going home, I heard of his death. Shadrach is the first of my siblings that died from my father's end. Shadrach fell off. He fell off on December 26th. They tried to rush into the clinic in the area. The clinic was not adequately strong to handle his case. So they took him to a Redemption Hospital in Nukuta. But before Shadrach could reach to the hospital, he died. He expired in the car. Why? Because of the traffic in the way from our place to go to Nukuta. Why? Because there's no major clinic hospital in that place to respond to the needs of the people. They had to drive Shadrach in the traffic to Redemption Hospital in a different district. Before they reached the hospital, Shadrach has expired in the car. Besides Shadrach, there are many other people who have died in the same form. There are pregnant women who die through childbirth because emergency situations are not taken care of. Can we allow things to remain the way it is? The fathers and mothers want changes in their life now. And I've dedicated myself in this time and dispensation of life that will fight for our people to ensure that we can have the first modern hospital in our place to respond to this medical emergency, to ensure that our people can have hope. At least if it's even 1 o'clock in the morning when things happen to you, you got a hospital that can respond to you and not refer you to another hospital. Our district is the second largest district in Montserrado County. You mean we can't have our own hospital? We have to drive to other districts for medical treatment? Look behind me. There's a building behind me they used to call the Hotel Africa. That Hotel Africa was a pride for Liberia, a 5-star hotel in Liberia. It's built right in Virginia, along the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. That place was built by the top of government. It was used throughout the 80s by the Dole government. The walking it was used again. That place today is no more. No more. You can see when you look behind me, you see that we have seen complete skeleton. That building was a pride. Even now, the road to even go there, the road is no more. People had to drive from side to side to go to that place.
So,
A
so
hosted.
Reverend, if I can get involved there a little bit, interrupt you. So you're speaking about this grand project. You're talking about hospital in your district. You're talking about hotel Africa beyond you. I mean, tell us specifically, Reverend, how are you going to do these things? I
Good.
mean, what we are hearing back home, oh, no money and all those things. So talking about the hotel and talking about building hospital, it is cash intensive. How are you hoping to accomplish these things?
Well, no money, but there's a modern hospital in Buffalo, which I must commend the president for that far-sighted vision of his. No money, but there's a hospital in Buffalo County because of lobbying with other people. And the population of my district is more than the population of Buffalo County. So that district is the strength politically for those who want to lead our country. And if we are neglected, we can neglect you too. Now the roster from NEC in this gone voter registration. It puts us at 71,689. We are number 2 to district number 4 in Montserrado County. We have the population. Why is it that the population can be served? So that people become the leverage of your advocacy. And our advocacy is not only to get the money, but to see how we can get out into the international cycle. But then the first thing is you must have a plan. The plan is why you take out for advocacy, and the plan is why you ensure that in the allocation of resources in our national budget, our issue is given a priority. If we cry more, if the voice of the people are brought to our budget, these things can be ensured. They only need people who can fight for the people. Make sure that we can make the case for the people because the people are the leverage. This district is the second largest in Montserrado County. It's a vote-rich district.
But
If you
Reverend, I'm a little puzzled. You're talking about getting, to get in the international circle. Reverend,
Yeah.
you are in the greatest country in the world, and you just told us your fine resume. Reverend, you can't lobby right now to get a hospital in your district. Why you have to go in the Capitol building to do that?
Good. Now, I believe in community life. I believe in a life where it's for us, it's not for me. Currently, we are lobbying. That's why we say we are lobbying with medical institutions in the United States here. We are lobbying with even the Disney world. How can you have what you have here in our country? How can you impact life in our country? Look, I drove the last time some part of Pennsylvania and I saw how a hospital was built. Somebody's trying to disturb our call. Like I said, the right people, we know them. The right organization, we know them. And these are the people we're going to make our case with. And it just required the leadership of the people to lead the people's platform in the House. Now, the reason you're asking why I said I can't do it without being a representative is simple. Now, we can become the voice of the people to ensure that what the people are supposed to have is a show off in our own national budget. It's a show off right in our country. Because it's like there has been neglect, there have been mixed priority, and people are there advocating for their interest. If you notice in our house, most of the argument the people have in our house is about the personal benefits, about the salary. Most of it. So who will go there and ensure that it becomes the people's budget and not our budget? How can we raise our development priority within our national budget? And these are the things we're looking at. How can we make the case that the people in this district need this because of their population? with the president and other international organizations. We believe in
But Reverend, you just say you are currently engaging other stakeholders,
yes, so
philanthropists and
it
rich
means that
people.
when I get on the ground day one, there will be something we can continue to fight for to ensure that
So, but
what
what
we
is the
are.
result of your lobbying that you're doing right now? Any result from it?
So, like I said, we've been engaged with folks in the international community, with corporate institutions, to have the kind of corporate social responsibility to the globe, this global world we find ourselves in. And these are the cases we are making with our people.
Reverend,
You
I mean,
understand?
I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, the both people that let us speak all the B words. So when you say corporate social responsibility, well, what exactly is that? I want the little man to understand that. Yeah.
It means now you are having this corporation, whatever it is, you're making money out of it. But also don't forget that the carbon effect of what you are doing in this place is affecting us on the other side. How can you see what you're doing, but do it in a way that it will help me, because the profit from impacting my life is enjoyed by you and your family? How can you tie yourself to making sure that what you do doesn't affect me, or even the profit for what you do that affect me, you can help me to become, better than for you alone to become better. You are part of a society, the global society. It's not you alone. You will just you reap the benefit of what you're doing, while the other people suffer the impact from what you are doing. So we're making a case to the consciences. Be able to do things that will impact the world. This is what we are saying. And one of the programs that we're trying to carry on to our place is to ensure full security of our people. There's an organization that we have lobbied with to ensure that at least twice a month, our people can have this food pantry that they can go to, collect food, take home as a social safety net for those of them who are not working. You understand that a mother and father can have at least something on the table before they can sleep. And we are lobbying hard. If things work out fine, my brother, at least what our people are on a job, that mother, that father, or that boy and girl won't go home, won't go to bed, sleep without having a meal per day. This is one of the things we are doing, and many other things we are doing before we get there.
So Reverend, let me follow on that. So you have a program where the food will be coming from out of the country for the people to
Yes,
house. That's what you're
yes.
doing.
There's
So
a group. There's a group now that is willing to send out containers of food. So it's a yellow program.
okay, but
So in a
Reverend,
month,
aren't you trying to make our people to be dependent on other people?
no, I talk about social safety net. Something that when you drop out of employment, something that will hold you until you get back.
Yeah, but Reverend, why don't you empower the people to make their own food, to grow their own food?
Now, there you are. If you read my manifesto, you will see that agriculture is given a priority in my manifesto. We are trying to see how best we can ensure that each of the zones, we have 7 zones in our district. We have Virginia, we have Arlington, Clay Ashland, Chisholm, Brownsville, Rossville, and what's the last one again? Did I call Rossville?
Yeah.
Now, at Pittsburgh, the 7th zone of our district, we're trying to ensure that we're trying to make our feasibility study when we get to power. What this zone can produce in terms of agriculture. What this other zone can produce in terms of agriculture. It's part of our strategic planning. We identify what this zone can produce. What this zone can produce. We have what you call an agriculture cooperative. The cooperative will be there to ensure that each of our zones are funded. We can create the cooperative that will ensure that we can produce the things in the various zone and be self-sufficient in terms of food, have the food security. What I'm talking about is just a safety net. Now in America, just imagine America, the program I work with, we have a food pantry. People come in on Wednesday and Friday. It doesn't mean that they're working. They are working, But when you pay your bill, brother, when you do all your thing, it is small. So those who are low income folks come here and get food for the week, at least to take them. It helps them to save and to ensure that their life is moving ahead. They call it a social safety net, something that will hold you until you get in power. But agriculture is part of our priority in our district to
Okay, so
ensure
but
that.
Reverend, speaking of agriculture though, and the people say you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. I mean,
Uh-huh.
how many farms do you have currently in your
Oh
district?
no, then you made that mistake. Don't go that way.
Why not?
When you say be the change you want to be,
Mhm.
it doesn't necessarily mean that if you want to build a house for people, you must be living in a mansion.
But you should
No.
have a house.
Very good. Hold on now. Now, most of the time, people are lured into those saying, and people give them buckable hills instead of mountain. Now, there are people who got schools. There are people who got businesses. There are people who got churches. There are people who got farms. The rest of it. I give you an example. The public school in our area. It came out down the church that borrowed the school to us said that they wanted their bidding. They want to do a private school for the church to benefit too. That bidding was lent to the communities before I was born. But for some reason, a pastor who probably never knew the history, what that school meant to the community, they came and said, we want our bidding. And the leadership then of the township had their own school, their private school. So it was in the interest of the leadership for that school to close because the children from that school may likely go to their school. They will have more enrollment. So they were not standing on behalf of the community to ensure that school remains. We fought with the Minister of Education, but the leadership, it was not to their benefit for the school to remain because the school closed, there will be people coming to their school. So if leadership start to have their own thing, they will prioritize the interest of the district and their personal interest as compared to the interest of the district. You will work for all if it is not your thing, if it's everybody's thing. And my brother, that school was closed down because leadership was not in favor of the school opening. Or because they thought that when the school closed, they will get more enrollment in their private school they have. I felt bad because our grandfather and grandparents allocated for that public school in our area. The church gave it long time ago.
All right.
But
Let me see. There's a call coming in. Maybe somebody wants to contribute here. Let me see. Mr. Mondo. You gotta take. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question for the Reverend.
Hold on. Reverend, are you hearing him?
yes, loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for the Reverend. I also, I must say thank you to him to be so bold to come on your show and and share his experiences and what he plans to do. But here is my take. The Liberian government every year they come up with a budget. When the budget come up, they say this county got this budget, this county got this budget for development. They give all that money to them, but they not do anything. What makes the Reverend think that he can come and do something when the people be giving the money, they take the money and do something else with it? That's my question.
Well, I mean, thank you so much for your question, my brother. I love the question, and it's so true.
You can hear
And
me?
Yeah. I'm hearing. Let me see what I can take the headphones off so you can hear him.
I heard him.
Yeah. Go ahead, Reverend. Maybe you want to hear a reply.
The question is a legitimate question. Now, these are some of the things that are driving our passion for leadership. We believe in people participation. We believe in people owning government. We believe if the people can stand, if you become the voice of the people and not yourself, things can work good for the people. You just talk about Muhammad Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi in India stood up with his people and broke the British monopoly on salt. The British were supplying salt to India, and they would change it at any price because it was the only country that was giving them salt. That's how we eating posawa in Liberia. We can grow our own food. It came out when Gandhi said, "Look, we are the one enslaving ourselves because we have allowed the beauty of our beach, of our sea that God gave us, with the salt in it, not to use it. If we can use the salt in our ocean God gave us, those people won't depend on the people's salt." And Gandhi started a movement in India where he took thousands of people onto the beach, the sea. The people were able to do their own salt. They stopped buying the British salt. The British salt, it could be bought, and it dropped the British economy. The people saw empowerment right there. What I'm saying, in essence, if you make your agenda, the people's agenda, you ensure that what you debate in the house is not just allocation, but you have a plan and your allocation goes towards. These are things we need to be doing. Our allocation should be people's driven allocation. When our people come and bring their development programs, we ensure that the development programs are funded with people monitoring them and evaluating them. Most of the time, we just give the money to a representative who will just use things for themselves and not imagine we got 2 duty-free privileges as a representative. It's for them and not for the district. So it means you are not lobbying to bring things to the district. You use them for yourself. If you have given it to the district, if you are someone who can lobby out for things for your people, hospital equipment, the rest of it, you have come into the West, lobby for that thing, use the duty-free privilege to bring the thing to your country for your people. Our people believe in them, they get them themselves and not the people.
Okay, Robert, let me bring another person on. Let me bring another Marvin, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, so let me see the viewers. Let me see some of the comments that are trending right now. So we have Evangelist James Carlo here. He said, everybody wants to use the plight of the Liberian people to ascend to power. But when they get the power, they forget about the people, or the same people they once advocated for. My question is, has your special guest discussed his development plans with the sitting representative or the government of Liberia? If so, what was the redress?
Thank you so much, my brother. Your question is a legitimate question. And I see the angle from which you are bringing the question. It's very important. Now, one thing I've learned to do in my life is to encourage, support people who are in leadership, regardless of them being in different parties. Representative Kazudu is a personal friend of mine. For every time I go to Liberia, I will go to his office at the capital. I will sit with him and discuss plans related to our district. Representative, how are you? How things are? He will explain to me the things they are doing. Some people do this and do this. These are some suggestions. If you call him, he will acknowledge that. So, I mean, I'm not like close. It's not just for me. The interest of my people becomes the priority. So I support leadership with ideas into how we can make things happen. And this has been my way of life. And this is why we are telling our people. The plan we have is a plan based on the need assessment we have done throughout the length and breadth of that district. My brother, look at our building behind me, the Hotel Africa. It's basically neglect. If that hotel was still in existence, it would have helped job creation in the place. We have a beautiful sea coast that it can be used for tourism. The first time I saw white people in my life, it was right in my place called Banja. The other people used to drive every Sunday to go on the beach. That's why I saw white people. And now in America, I saw white people. That our place was so attractive to tourists. But now, the road to even get there is not there. The only bridge I used to connect people to the beach is broken down. From the time the pool was an altar board, nobody wants to help. It's just that people have been neglected. I've lived there. I walk in the swamp. I walk on a dusty road. I walk in every butchers of that place. I swim in the sea. In every place, I know what is it. Right in my place was where the truck used to
Let me
pass
bring
to
another
carry.
person in here. So,
Go ahead.
Mr. Panto is saying, why you guys that come from America want to be lawmaker? Are you thinking that no one in District 17 to become a lawmaker with what you can do? Let people see it, and the people they will. You understand the question? But I
Yes.
think the gist of the question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I mean, Panto, you are right for that question. Like I said, it's a legitimate question as well, because some of our brothers who left this end went to Morovia. They didn't live up to the expectation. But there's something called brain drain. And Liberia is at where it is because we are having a brain drain effect on our national development. The assets of Liberia, in terms of brain, they're all in the diaspora. And if those people want to go back home, it gives value to the nation. See it from a direction. They say in the land of the blind, only that one eye will become king. If your own people got two eyes and they're coming, you think that one eye man will keep doing the thing they're doing? Yes, that's a legitimate question you just asked. Many of our people have forsaken, they have betrayed the trust. But in them, there are people who are still connected to the people who ate the cassava with coconut, who ate the monkey apples, who ate the plum, who ate the breadfruit, who knows what is it. When somebody say, look, I didn't eat today because they went through it. So when the people come in the West, they have learned, they're returning home. They want to ensure that things are done for their people. And if in there is a place where things can be done, they are giving value to that house. They can stand and talk to anybody across the world. Liberia cannot be a dumper where somebody from the white man will stand. Anything you say about Liberia, then we agree. No. The same school the white people went to, the same school we went to too. So when we are there, when we're speaking, they know that we're speaking because we know the issues. We can challenge their issues. We can't be second class to them anymore. We want to live our country with that value that we have earned from this society. So yes, my brother, it's not just to become a representative, but it's to ensure that our people can be respected by even the white man, who think you went to the best school. But the same best school, your brothers and sisters went to the same best school too. So when they're in leadership, we talk issues. They respect our country because they know that there aren't just fully people in that place there. I want you to see it from that perspective. Your value are returning. Embrace them. Let's work together and make Liberia the proudest nation we ever have.
Okay, but Reverend, I still want to push you. Politicians when they want the people vote, they can tell us all the sweet thing that we want to hear. Reverend, what impact are you currently making in the district that you want to run?
What impact am I making?
Currently in the district.
Currently in the district. Like I said, our existence now is an extension of the existence of those who've lived before us, what we've done before we said we want to be, and to lose track of that, it makes us not to have a development continuum in the process. One, we were instrumental in ensuring that a clinic that will serve the needs of our people is in that place there. I think about the public school that was closed down. The public school that was serving thousands of children in that place was closed down because the leadership priority was not for the public school. We fought hard. We ensured that today we can have a modern public school in that place we were born. Its impact. What also instrumental in ensuring that our people can stop selling, because that place had one of the major roads that were leading to Bombay County came from Simple Bridge. It will pass through Banjo, then it go to Brosville, then it goes straight to Sierra Leone, the rest of it. When they built the Hotel Africa, the conference center, That road was bypassed. They built a new road on the other side. So it affected the economy of our place. They had the only market out on our street. People that are traveling to Brownsville and going to Freetown, they will stop right there and buy. So it was booming the economy of the community. But once the new road was built on the other side, the market collapsed. No market again. But through our instrumentality, a modern market is in the area. Most of that, I used to walk from my place to go to school on the other side. When they reading my brother, we were walking mud because the road was so bad, terrible. But thank God that our advocacy with this president now to ensure that we can have that road changed to a modern road. Today, I can close my eyes and walk on that road. The road is paved. And I don't want to see that road being paved only on my side of the district. Our intention is to see that we can have all of the major roads in that area paved. We are not cursed. God didn't curse us. No. Most of that were involved in youth development in the area, community development, ensuring major projects in the district like pit latrines, hand pumps and other things being provided by our people, for our people in that place. I don't like to name things because when you tend to name things, it gives you that wind under your arm that you think you are it. But we want to do things because I believe that as we live our life, if we can impact the next person, the life we live is in vain.
Okay, I think that James here, I don't know, it's your son. James is asking, I mean, after the war, what have you done in the area of healthcare in the district?
The first key, James is my brother. They call him Snare. He's the bench. The first key that entered the door of that community clinic, Solomon Manneh Muin, was the one who put a key in that door and opened it to Medicine Sans Frontier and Merlin. After the war, we had influx of refugees and displaced people in the community. And the place got so overpopulated that it was causing sanitation problem because people were just defecating all around the place. There was no good pet latrine and the rest of it. We'll walk from that place in Virginia and go to town, Mama Point, and meet with the international institution, medical institution, relief institution, and advocate for our people and on their behalf. We cost nurse until they came. And I had that clinic established. And I was proud, by the grace of God, to open the door to welcome Merlin. Merlin is a British medical NGO. And Merlin started to operate in that building. It gave relief to our people. We work along with the International Rescue Committee, IRC, to build pit latrines and hand pumps to the community. We brought them in. Merlin was also involved in helping our young men to get involved in sanitation program. So we had this organization called Fellowship of War-Affected Christians, for what? That I established, working with the community and working with the international organization to ensure that we can have relief. It was based upon our advocacy. The UNHCR, United Nations High Commission on Refugees, said that you guys hosted refugees, we need to give you guys back to say, oh, thank you, or gratuity. They had the air market and the public school. My brother and I, Emmanuel, we drafted the proposal for that public school to be built.
Okay, Marie is saying, I want to know if Hotel Africa is a government property or a private property.
Hotel Africa is a government property.
Okay.
Yeah, Hotel Africa is under the Ministry of State. Hotel Africa and the conference center. So they look for partners and they tell all the partners, and partners run it. They just see when you have the LDC. The guy who was running Hotel Africa was one Gus. But they say he was caught up in the arms smuggling with the former President Taylor. He's one of the guys, Like it's been
So,
invested in
Remy,
what?
what I want to do is to share your agenda so that we can go into the specifics.
Please.
So let me do that. Let me see. Okay, you're seeing it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I just wanted to go through it a little bit here for specificity. All right, so you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pillars.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have 7 pillars. The first one you're talking about health and sanitation, education and education, sports and recreation, women and youth empowerment, agriculture and food security, community roles, eco-friendly housing, and job creation, of promotion of culture, tourism, and climate justice, promotion of community peace and security. Now, Reverend, these things, the platform sounds familiar. I mean, it sounds pretty good, in terms of, in theory, but practically, I don't know what are these things they are doing. But I mean, I read the platform, but I did not see a specific bill as to how you're going to go about what sort of bill you sponsor. Say, for example, to get health and sanitation going, or education and sports and those things. So, I mean, elaborate on those things a little bit for us.
Thank you so much, my host. I'm a development practitioner. One, this is my career area. Two, when I go to society, I examine the health of a society to know whether that society is healthy. And there are key indicators that tells you whether this society is healthy or not. And once these key indicators are lacking, they call it determinant, social determinant of a healthy society. Once they are lacking, development is strangulated. It challenged our development process. And one of those indicators or the social determinants is the health of the people. Now, take for example, I have a district that have almost about 200,000 people in the district.
Yeah.
And the district doesn't have a medical center to serve the people. So tell me, you make the people vulnerable. So bills that we can present to get focused to ensuring that our resources go towards building hospital. We can say in every district where there are more than 50,000 people, let's ensure that a health center, not clinic, of health center is built. It makes it a national law that once the population is at this rate, or even 20,000 people, we can have a hospital. So it makes our budgeting gets priority to the people. It makes us to allocate in our budget to ensure that the hospitals are built in those areas to meet the needs of the people. Because we are there to serve the needs of the people. We are there to ensure that people's basic social needs are met. And how will you have 200,000 people without one major hospital in a place? You know what it means? It's a disaster. The only hospital we have is Redemption. It's in different district in Nukutan. Imagine that. And our population is more than the population of District 16. So it means that if that bill is submitted and is debated, is passed, it makes it incumbent upon the government in her allocation or in her lobbying that these things can be put into the district to ensure that the people's health is prioritized, to ensure that people don't die prematurely, to ensure that unwanted diseases are not captured by the people. You get this?
Yeah.
Now, these plans are my vision based upon my need assessment of the place, comparing to the social indicator that every good society must have. Now, what we're going to do with this plan is this. After being elected, excuse me, we want to have a consultation again, community consultation in every zone of the district. And the consultation will end into a district strategic planning conference. If it is 3 days or 5 days, we want to bring our district stakeholders together. It's either the Lakera mission or the Rex mission, where we'll sleep, wake up, discuss, sleep, wake up, discuss the issue, and come up with a district development plan that the people were agreed upon based upon our consultation. And that is district development plan becomes our working tool that will guide us in the legislature to ensure that if we lobby out, these things are given priority in our lobbying. Every sector of our district is included in our plan. So it becomes our guard. And when we advocate. And we're making law, we make law to make sure that these things that we have, because I believe that we are on par with other people. That's how you make your district the development model that other districts will see and replicate these things. But it must start from somewhere. Like what you said, the vision can be shared. Once the people get it, once you are doing it, other people say, but if we can do it, we can do it on the other side too. So healthcare is our priority. It's shown that we can have a modern hospital in our district. My brother, it's not possible. The president was able to lobby to have a modern hospital built in Bapolo County.
But yes, that's the precedent, though.
Hold on now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, good. The president was able to lobby. Okay. Now the lobbying strength. And we can join the president in the advocacy of lobbying for us as well, and join his lobbying team to ensure that we are given priority in terms of modern hospital. Besides that, we are working with other institutions on the side to ensure that we can give priority to our place. Now, if this development plan is adopted by our people, what we want to do is to plan at least twice a year, a trip into the West. They come to Virginia. I was born in Virginia, in Liberia. Virginia was named after this state, Virginia, because the free slaves that left from there went to Liberia, that where they settled. And Virginia was founded in 1846, before Liberia got independent. We want to make the case for Virginia with Virginia here. You understand that? We want to play it on. We want to talk to the consciences of the leadership of Virginia here. How can you look at Virginia over there and be a part? So we're making the case. Like South Carolina, people from Brooklyn, most of them came from South Carolina and North Carolina. We want to come here and make a case. Your people left from it, they are there. How can you connect? How can you be? So you see, instead of coming here and just stay on Woodland Avenue the whole day with your family, then you say you come from America? No. Don't come here and lawyer for yourself. Then you use your duty free. No.
So Reverend, who are you referring to that coming to on Woodland? Who is that?
Stop putting your finger on my mouth, man. Don't let me vomit on this shit, man.
Oh, that's why I brought you here. Because I mean, somebody took a job out over there. Who is that?
No, I mean most of our folks when they come here, man. Imagine, our people can make themselves feel so inferior to the people in the West. When they come here, they can't even make at least to visit the capital of the United States to meet with their friends, legislators, to talk issues. They feel inferior. They feel that they are subhuman to these people. No. Plan your trips. Come here and meet with them. Talk issue with them. Then they won't treat you like second-class people. Imagine in Liberia, when the U.S. ambassador talk, that broken start sneezing. Get a cold with cash. The U.S. ambassador become the spokesperson for Liberia. Then like the Liberians themselves. Why? Nobody question what they say. We have made ourselves inferior to the people. It's not supposed to be so. We have men and women of integrity, men and women who are educated with the same school that Paul went to, the same school we went to. We know the issues. When we come, imagine I am just a lay person in this place here in terms of my organization attachment. I was able to carry my organization, the Liberian Ministers Association of the Delaware Valley, to the capital. We met with legislators. We're talking on the Liberian issue for this, what you call it? The TPS, giving Liberian citizens, who are on TPS, a regular stay in Liberia. We met with them, organized meetings with the people. We met with them, we talk issues. If I can do it, if I can do it,
I know, I mean, the politician and they can go all day with explaining, but I just wanted to look at pillar 6 of your agenda. The bullet point here, the first one is promoting and protecting the traditional culture or cultural values and activities of the people of district. So when you say traditional cultural activities, I mean, explain that to us. What exactly you are talking about here?
Good. My brother, when they were coming up in that place, when people having feast, you will see our various towns together. You see traditional mark dancers, people engaged in the traditional practices. It was something that was so beautiful, admired. But for some reason, the West have talked down on us to the point where we refuse to even be associated with our traditional practices. We say it's evil, it's witch. They have made us to abuse or disabuse our traditional practices. It's like those things that hold us together as a people. We let go of them. Like the Addington. During the July 26th, we used to go to Addington, they have a big feast. The Addington used to produce the best wine in terms of king juice. The best. The eggnog, they used to fix it in a way that it was so good. People come from all over in Addington. Now, what are the things that is so unique to our towns and villages that we want to protect? That can make our place be a tourist attraction? Who told you that the people that can live from here don't want to go to Liberian citizens? The reason why they go to Ghana is because Ghana protected theirs and still protecting them. So that people see tradition more in Ghana than in Liberia. We want other white people all the time. They see people that tell us to devalue our traditions. They are now putting back on us new values that are contrary to our value. They say if you don't accept it, we won't get you money.
So Reverend, let's take, for example, female genital mutilation is a practice by our people. I mean, it's part of our culture. Let me finish my thought, and you can come in, please. So it's part of our culture. I mean, people use that back home. So I want to understand, are you also going to protect that? Because it's part of our culture.
Now, so it's given an adjective called, the adjective for it was harmful. Traditional practices. Yeah? It's not adjective of adverb, one of it. Harmful traditional practices. That is not good for the one that is practiced on.
But your agenda said promoting and protecting the traditional
culture.
Don't people. Yeah, so the word harmful is not indicated. That's why I want to make sure that we get that right.
So those traditional practices are harmful to our people. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about traditional practices that is holistic in value, that promotes the good of our society.
So, but if I understand you correctly, female genital mutilation is not part of your agenda. That culture, you're not going to protect that. Is that correct?
If the people say it's harmful, if the people that themselves practicing say it's harmful.
What do you say?
Let me reveal to you that my father also went to the poor society. He's a crewman. It was such strange that a crewman going into a poor society in the place there. He said, "But I was born in the people place. It's just all part of me." Now, these are unique things they teach us from values in our places. They teach our girls values and morals. These institutions were there to hold society. But they are gone. Now they are gone. The same people who say we shouldn't practice these traditional practices, they are telling all to, you can turn to men, you can turn to women.
So Reverend, just to be clear, are you going to make an amendment to that traditional practice of female genital mutilation?
I didn't tell you that FGM would be protected.
So I just want to be clear. So that's what I'm saying.
No, I didn't say so.
So that part of the culture will not be protected.
since we all agree that it's a harmful traditional practice that is dangerous to the health of, how do you call it, our people, our women, then say, okay, yes, we agree, we won't do it again. The people agree. So the other thing that we can do that is harmful, we will do them.
So, in other words, you're gonna propose that the practices of our people be purged. Certain things should be removed and certain things should stay. Is that correct?
Now let's take, for example, what happened in Liberia recently. We used to have the culture center, very unique place. Well, all of our tribes used to have a display of the heritage, the National Culture Center. For some reason, a president came and saw that place. They said, we want to transform this place here. What the person was doing was, they said, people who have culture and heritage, they are lost people. This person was trying to erase our heritage, cancel it, so that we have none of reference that these are our cultural practices. The culture center, that place where the Kram, the Sapo, the Kru, the Dane, the Bassa, the Gola, the Loma, Kisi, they will come and display. That place is no more. It was deliberately done so it will erase our next generation to get to know those things of ours.
So, Rabbi, aren't you erasing part of our culture if you are not in support of female genital mutilation, which is part of the Pura and Sandy, I think the Sandy society? Are you not erasing our culture?
Now, can I say this to you too?
Yeah.
You think transgender or transgenderism is part of our culture?
No, it's not.
Good. But is there a culture in other areas?
Pardon me?
Is there a culture practice in other areas?
Yes.
Good. You think it is right for someone to impose upon us transgenderism or the other same-sex article on us that is not our culture practices?
No, I wouldn't encourage that either.
And these same people who are imposing it on us are saying to us, what you are doing is harmful, what you are doing is bad.
So, but Robin, what do you say though? Do you think female genital mutilation is helpful?
Like I told you, it's been characterized as harmful traditional practices or harmful traditional practice.
Which one?
It's been characterized as harmful traditional practice.
No, I'm not. I mean, somebody got to do the characterization? What do you say? Because you want to be our leader. Do you think
the characterization is based upon the experience of the people and the testimony of those who have experienced it? And those who do it, they say, oh yes, it's not good. So those who do it say, yes, it's not good, based upon the experience of the people who...
So let me make it personal, Reverend. Let me make it personal. Assuming I don't know whether you have a girl child. Will you subject your daughter to that?
The word subject is, if I do subject, then it means that I'm violating her right.
So if she wants to do it, that's something you will welcome.
Well, yeah, people all around putting needle all in their nose or everything. People tend to
Robbie, I think it's a red herring. You're trying to take our attention from the issue being discussed.
I'm trying to give you a comparative analysis of things.
Yeah, but we are in the context. We are talking in the context of Liberia right now. So
like I said to you,
do somewhere.
Like I said to you, those practices that are very positive to society, we keep them. Those ones will promote them. I have seen those ones that are not healthy, that people have characterized as harmful, we'll let them go. But keep and promote
if you were to characterize some practices of ours that are harmful, what would that be?
I mean, female genital mutilation is one.
Okay. Okay, so that's only your outlaw.
It's not. Is it already outlaw?
Really? Okay, but let me go to the building at the back that you referenced earlier.
Yeah.
Have you done the feasibility studies to know how much it costs to renovate that building?
No, I've not done that. It would take an engineer to do that. One, two. Like I said, that building was built in my present when I was a little boy. The truck that took the laborers to go and build that building, they passed right in my house. They couldn't keep it. So it was that building and the conference center. With that building, also have what you call villas. Villas is those modern small unit that is built for international guests. It was where presidents used to sleep during the OU conference. That building over there, when it was completed, it was the first place I got to ride what they call the elevator. We go to after church on Sunday, we just get in the building and just ride the elevator up and down. I mean, we learn something. We don't learn riding elevator in America. But what I'm saying in essence, that building was a major tourist attraction in Liberia. Very, very modern building.
So, but Reverend, my question, I'm not complete, but the reason I asked that question is, you put it on your agenda, OAU Conference Center and Hotel Africa. Those are something you put on your agenda.
The restoration of this place.
One would have thought that you have done your research.
No,
the cost before you're talking about renovating or refurbish them.
We don't do it like that. We look at what is and what has been of what is now. So we are highlighting those areas that needs attention, those areas that have been neglected that needs attention. So it's like when we get to leadership, we ensure that our focus with national government is to prioritize the restoration of the places, because they are tied to our heritage as a people. They are tied to our pride as a nation. That place hosted the 1979 OU conference, the whole Africa and the conference center. It's a historic place.
So, Reverend, if you were to fault somebody, if you were to blame somebody for the dilapidation of that building, who would you blame? Who would you put the fault on?
I will actually blame it on the wall.
Okay, but then the renovation too, somebody will take responsibility for that.
So then also too, if government or if leadership, local leadership, are giving priority or prioritizing these things in the advocacy in the house, giving attention to them, I think it would have caught the attention of not just the government but international community to show that things can be done. So it's important. That's why leadership is important. This is why representation is important. So you do an assessment of your entire district. Those things that are very valuable. How can things to be restored? These are the advocacy you take for you. These are the things you take in budgetary allocation for your district. Make the noise. Build friendship across the aisle. Build friendship with even the leadership of your country. And make sure that they can see the need of this place. Because if I see that place, I think about jobs that are gone for the community. I think about our cultural heritage being demolished. I think about our tourism industry being collapsed.
So Reverend, if I may ask, what is your current political affiliation?
Now, I, Solomon Manneh Muin, the president and I were born in the same month of October. He was born on the 1st of October. I was born on the 31st of October. The president's name is Manneh. My name is Manneh. The president's son was born on the 22nd of February. My son was born on the 22nd of February. The president, Omar Cloud, I'm also a Cloud. And before he even became who he was or who he is today, I have been a supporter of his vision. I've been a supporter of his positive way of life. I've been a supporter of his emancipation from slum to stardom. I see in him that positive nature that if we connect ourselves to as a people, we can excel as a nation. I've always been his supporter. I've always been an advocate, and I've always showed that the good things are done by him. And if there's a need for us to come and help him in other areas that he needs to be helped, like running as a representative, because he needs strong leadership, strong legislative leadership that will raise the issue for the country and the people. People who will bring to the capital the people's problem, who will bring to the capital the people's voice. These are the people he's looking for, because he's running a proper agenda that will emancipate everybody from poverty. So if our agenda is tied to the people being raised from poverty, it's helping him to achieve that which he wants to achieve. So yes, my brother, I am a supporter of the president's.
So how close are you to the powers that be, the president and other people, to the hierarchy of CDC? How close are you?
Well, you can be close but yet far. And you can be far but yet close. So I don't know how close you're talking about.
Yeah. Like, can you reach the president relatively easily, or have you talked to him, or can you talk to him?
So I mean, I can talk to him relatively easily.
But are you part of the power structure of the current
No,
ruling
no, I'm
party?
not part of the power structure, my brother.
Okay, I mean the reason I'm asking, the reason, but you are being evasive, is because if you are closer to the powers that be and you support the agenda of the president, you should be able to at least channel some of these things that you want to do right now, such as Hotel Africa, so that they can renovate the building. Because you have been in power for 6 years now, or nearly 6 years.
Okay.
So I mean, assume given that you are close, you are sedition, one would have thought that maybe you're part to the party chairman and say, "Oh, chairman, this is a building in my district that I actually care for," but none of those things have been tackled.
Okay, but don't forget that we have a role in our area is PAVE.
It was
And
done
these
through your advocacy.
definitely.
Okay.
And there are many things we say we got a program we call Let's Talk So and Talk So. We raise many of the issues that the president listens to. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes. So,
And
Rabbi, I heard the phrase "pro-poor." Do you honestly believe the agenda of the president is pro-poor?
well, I mean, I just saw the president went to what the place said. I mean, West Point, and he unveiled a project that he implemented in West Point, a place that was a slum where when young children go and play, maybe they'll have gas bottle. I mean, gashing their feet and the rest of it. But that place is now turned from slum to a modern playground. To this president has allowed that old lady who used to sell her beta ball keep her money to ensure that her son or daughter go to the university to obtain at least a college education. That old man will work whole night as a watchman at someone's house to take his money to invest into his children's education. That boy that man that will go way in the bush to make coal and sell in a tech forest for the children to go to educate to go to the university. Today, the university is free to all. So it means that Man Lapu, Mr. Hayes, Mr. Williams, all of them, the children can go to university without being discriminated against based upon the resources that, based upon their background. Free university education. It's not proper. Empowering the human resource is the valuable assets, very valuable assets of a country. I did development research in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. In Barbados, as small as they don't have land that have resources, natural resources. One of the things that they depend on mostly is tourism because of the beautiful land somewhere around the sea or the sea surrounds. But what they have done is that they have invested into the development of a human resource to the point where from kindergarten to college level is free education. And most of the colleges in the West Indies, they are free university education. The people are investing in the human resource development. Because they believe that if our human resource development is developed and built, it can transition us, it can make our nation valuable. So if they see the president doing that, let's applaud him. Besides that, there are homes that people used to sleep when it rains, they will put bucket tops to stop the rain from even coming on the bed because they were living on thatches. The rest of it, this president have allowed their homes to be transformed from thatch and mud into some concrete and zinc building. If it's not proper, tell me what is it?
Okay, Ravi, I think you're making those are strong points that but let us poke them a little bit. I'll play the devil advocate and see how strong the points are. Okay, I'm one person. If I should give credit to the current administration, I like the education policy, and that's something I can say all the time. Whether we like it or not, I think it's a good policy. If another president comes and some of the lapses in the program, the person improves on that, it will make a good policy. But as of now, what good is a free education policy where the children have access, they have no access to books, they have access to no reliable internet service, the infrastructure on which they are learning, they are dilapidated. I mean, Reverend, what good is that sort of? I mean, the teachers are not getting paid, as a result, the 99% of the time, or maybe 70% of the time, the children are not in school. So, what good is that program to the children, to the future of the country?
And honestly, too, you said it rightly. If there are lapses, it can be improved upon. The fact that it's there, it can be worked upon. One, two. Sometimes we tend to hold old statistic into present reality. We bring the old statistic into present realities. Now, you said it rightly. It's not 100% perfect, but at least the start is there. And teachers are being paid. It will not be regular, but the lapses are not just constant, not being paid. But we used to holding our old statistics and bring them into the present. So if somebody cough today, no pay this month, they just think that they've been like no pay the whole year. The teachers have been paid.
Reverend, again,
More
let me
to that,
push you. Mhm.
more to that. You know, it came out in South Africa when apartheid was in full swing. The students now have a fitting building to go to school, but because of the desire to learn, well, even on the trees where people make themselves available to teach. I'm not saying that because they're on a tree they are not or is good, but the fact that they were eager to learn with the availability of the resources that were there, they put to use those availability into producing the best for themselves. Now,
Excuse me.
all of us would do at a university campus, if not all, is politics. Even to the point when good has been done for them, they see the good as no good. Until those who they want to be in power because they want in power. Today, the university document, the university, you can register online. If you say there's no internet facility, then who registers online? Yes, the
Reverend,
issue.
Reverend, my daughter is at the University of Liberia. To
Yes,
even get through, it was a war, Reverend. Even though it's a
how?
free, but to get
What makes
through,
it a war?
I mean, they got all these different bureaucracy where you have to bribe the other person, you have to pay the other person. When you don't have money, Reverend, your daughter cannot go to that school,
No, hold on.
especially the University of Liberia. If you
That's a
can't,
serious
because
allegation.
I'm not making an allegation, I'm saying something I was involved with. For my daughter to enter that school, it was a
And,
war.
and you chose to go that ride in Brabant.
I didn't brag, but I'm just saying that's why I told her. I told her if you can go through the proper channel, but it took her forever to go through because I told her that I'm not going to send money for what they are asking for. So I'm telling
Oh,
you how many children going through that. If
no,
my
hold on
daughter can
now,
go
hold
through
on.
it,
Yeah. Some time ago, someone called me from Liberia and said, "Oh, I need some money." I said, "For what?" They said, "Oh, we're going to take national exam." I said, They come and pay for your national exam." Yes. What you need money for? Or the school say my brain tell that. I said, "For what?" They say for flexibility fee. I said, "What you call flexibility fee?" Flexibility fee, when we enter the test, we'll be able to give it to the examiner so that we can do our small thing. I said, "You brave to even tell me that?" People must challenge the system to do the right thing, so that the right thing must be a culture and not the abnormal things.
Yeah, but really, when you do that, you'll be sitting for a long time, and
No,
the
no, hold
children
on
want
now.
to go to school.
Hold on. I'm not doubting that which your daughter told you. But sometimes too, raise the issue of administration. The guy who is now the president of the place is my uncle, Dr. Nelson. I don't think with I don't think if administration knows that these are the things going on, they won't intervene. These are things done far from the administration, knowledge. And it's wrong. If your daughter went through that, it's too bad. Because the place is open for all. If there
But
are people who are
in theory, it's open, but practically to enter the University of Liberia, I mean, I was a little bit frustrated. I told her to sit down. If they can't, the girl will call me daddy. They say they want this, so daddy. They say they want this. I said, if I can pay once you
did,
pass
did you
your wax examination, you got your paper where everything's submitted. Why are they asking you for all the fees?
other people did you call any of the administrators at the university?
No, I don't know them.
You see, sometimes too you make a follow up to know what has been said is true or not. Because it's like if you don't do follow up, You won't have the process
Reverend,
understood by
there's no
you.
need. My daughter will lie to me. There's no reason why she will lie to me.
No, I'm not saying that she's lying to
Maybe she can
you
be crying sometimes
because
when she
someone
calls me
else is
daddy.
doing
These people,
something.
my second daughter, the reason she going to the she wants to go to the private school is because of the bottlenecks. To enter the University of Liberia, she said, it's not easy, daddy. So let me just go to the private school and you pay. And that's the route we gotta go to go to the private school. Because
So
to enter the state university, the bribing.
I want to advise you to take it further.
Mm-hmm.
Allow the issue to be raised with the administrator or the administration of University of Liberia. I mean, your daughter need to be one of the persons who will set an example, so that those bad elements within the university that are creating those bottleneck can be weeded out.
So,
It must start from each of
Reverend,
us.
since you are coming to be a lawmaker, how will you tackle corruption in government?
I'll tackle corruption by first targeting the schools. Now we fail to realize that the school produce corrupt people based upon the culture they set in the school. Makes things difficult so that our children will bribe and get away through. If corruption is criminalized, even in the schools, people will start asking for feasibility fee because to ask for feasibility fee is a corruption by itself. You are treating the next leader in how they can get away in society by bribing. So if we criminalize corruption, then people will start to get afraid because they know that if you do that, you'll be a criminal. Will make it I won't call it felony per se, but a crime that is, should I say, unbeatable, but some that will be so severe that people will be afraid. Build a culture so that people won't get involved in it, and the culture must start from the schools. The culture must start from the churches. We should have a body that will be holding church accountable. Yes, you want to run as a church? Yes, okay, we agree. Make sure you can report to us how much you were able to realize per year, why you did. It's not interference, because they are all promoting corruption. So if that culture is built, a national culture against corruption is built, it will make us to set standard. Like even the one who is an official of government, he knows that when it happens to him, this is where he will be placed. People will be afraid. More to that, we need to have what you call a national accountability standard set by going back to the issue of the war crime. People feel that Liberia is an elephant meat. People feel that Liberia is a child that you can beat. Nobody will ask you anything. If we can hold people who have done wrong to this country, holding accountable, economic or war crime, if the children sees it, it will instill in them that good morals.
But Reverend, your party is in power. Why are you guys not implementing the recommendation of the TRC?
Now I'm not a major policy maker of the party, but I can lift my voice on issues. Like I can write and tell the president, these things are important. Telling him it's important to do. If he doesn't do it, it doesn't mean that I'm not telling him.
But I'm of the assumption that Reverend Muin, you are against corruption. That's my assumption. But I've not seen anything from you with respect to the president building 47 houses, or if you ask the former information minister, Nagbe, Eugene Nagbe, he said the president built 16. I've not seen you or speaking to that issue. I've not seen you speaking to. Let me finish my thought, please.
Where?
I've not seen you, the president, building his personal church with our accountability where he got the money from. I've not seen you speaking on the president having private jet, and walking on red carpet. Yes, though you say the government is proposed. So I have not seen you speaking to those things.
That's a good one. You are a journalist or you are a practicing journalist. So journalists believe in investigation and come up objectively. Why you push out just now about president building 47 houses, the how you call him, the information minister is 16? The question is, when did he build those houses? Two,
it's the first term in office.
His first term, he said within your first term.
I mean the first year. My fault. The first year.
My knowledge of those buildings is this. before the president became president, he had an investor who was interested in building those buildings. And he took the plan to the past government that was there. But they tend to stop him, to delay his plan. He lobbied, but he couldn't get his way through. So the investor just fell back. So he became president. It was just like he now had a pen. So he gave way to the investor to build a model development for him. So this was something that was already into existence as a result of the plan before he became president. And he even shared the plan with the past government. But for some reason, they tend to delay him. They tend to, push him around.
Ravi, I'm not too sure whether if you are in government, you preach against corruption though, because right now you are defending.
No. Hold on. That's why I say you are a journalist.
Let me finish my thought. This is a man.
But I didn't finish my thought. You jump in.
Yeah, come here. I just want to make it stronger. This is a man who was the world superstar, the best player in the world. He did not build 47 houses or 16 in Liberia. Okay, maybe the argument would be there was war in Liberia. That's the war. That's the argument. Okay. After the war ended, we have on a Judy Bryant. Okay, somebody say the country was still fragile. Okay, we'll leave that level. Charles Siddle came. All right, we'll say maybe the country is not still good. Okay, but how about Ellen 12 years, where you have all-male troops in the country, they defending, they protecting. After 12 years, that we don't see anything from George Weah. He was a senator under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He even served as peace ambassador and all of that. But he did not build 47 or 16 houses. His first a year in office as president, he got 47 houses. He got a church. He broke down his house on 9 or 12th Street. And the Reverend is telling us he had those things, the plan in the making already. But that's just plan. How is it that the plan will come to fruition in 1 year in office?
Now let me provide a disclaimer. I'm not a spokesman for George Weah, the President George Weah. Not a man is spokesperson for the government. I'm providing you information that I have. You can go after the information. I think the best person to talk to is this information minister. I can liaise with him and get him on your show. If you want to, you can ask this question. But sometimes it's good to investigate. I just gave you the background of the house, of those houses. It's a way.
It's a way. Because that's an alibi to protect the president. Oh, the guys, they are the apologists. You guys are apologists for the president. So you wouldn't come here to say something to the contrary.
So let's get back
about fighting corruption.
Let's get back to my district. Because I'm not a president's spokesperson. None of them the president's, government spokesperson. They pay people who do not work.
Okay, so let's look at the projects that you're talking about. So, I've seen some of those houses, and I don't know, you have, let's just say, for example, you got 20 persons in a village, and you build 5 houses for 5 persons, and the rest, 15 persons, they don't have, better shelter. What good is that program? Because that's what I'm saying. Some of those buildings, the president will go in the community and build a few houses, and the rest of the people are still unattached houses. So one would have thought that you do the feasibility study to see how many residents in our community that need houses, and you cover that whole community or that town. But if you go in a town and build 5, and the rest are still on, I don't see the benefit of that program.
So it means that you have done an assessment of the places the president built, and this is a condition.
I missed it.
What I'm asking is, like, you have done an assessment of the places the president built those houses, and these are the conditions you saw.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'll follow up with them.
Okay, so Reverend, I think it's a wonderful show. I enjoyed talking to you, but I think you bear 2 hours now. So the last thing that we want to talk about, if you want to just say something about your campaign, we can transition to the last thing that I want to talk about before we let you go for the day.
Well, I believe We who are living today, we are the existence of the extension of those who lived before us. And we, our children, will be the existence of us if we leave this space and time. We need to do all that we can do now to ensure that our children inherit a good future by ensuring that our places we live, our space we find ourselves in is better when God has blessed us with the knowledge to make it better. What use is our education when we can impact lives? What use is all of our connections if we can bring our connection to make the change in the life of our people? One of the reasons why I've taken up the challenge to stand up for my people is the fact of where I lived before and the story I gave of my brother. Shadrach wouldn't have died if we had a very good hospital. Or besides Shadrach, many pregnant women who died through childbirth in a emergency situation. Husbands and wives who are rushed to hospital and they didn't make it because there's none in our place. These things, I believe, is not our inheritance. We can make the difference. We can stop them from happening. And it will stop if we put the right people who have the passion for development, not for position. Because more often when people want position, they come and they set after you what they want and get position, they forget about you. They reach themselves in the family. But I want to ensure that I become what you want me to be, your voice, and I make sure our district, the second largest district in Montserrado County, have the development benefits as any other places or any other place in our country. It's now time that we stop focusing on Monrovia because we feel that if we don't live in Monrovia, we don't live good life. We can make our good life right within our place if we transform our place. My team is on the ground team umbrella. They are working to spread the message out to people. And we want to ensure that every citizen in our place can have access to the government, to the self-actualization as real human beings. So that poverty, that thing that we say is a curse on us, will be broken. And thank you for the show, my brother. You tend to make me to talk as a national politician on the government, but that's not why you brought me here for. And you come to talk on my district.
You're a national leader. Obviously, when you get there, you are now only representing District 17.
And
but
show
you'll be
indeed,
representing the country as a
I
whole.
will use my district as a mirror for development in the nation. I have the requisite skills.
So, but Reverend, who are you running against?
Well, I don't normally run against people.
You have opposition, right? Or there's an incumbent in that district, right?
The guy I told you about the representative Kazlo who is running in Cape Mark County as senator. So he feels he wants to go higher than being represented, so he runs to be a senator in the next district, in the next county.
Oh, the guy that is incumbent right now?
Yeah, so it's free. They said that the guy about 40+ person running to be representative. But
Okay.
I'm not running against them. I'm running
So
for
what is the chances of winning?
our chance or my chance.
Yeah, your chance of winning.
Well, I mean, I never go in things and don't win.
So if you were to put a number on it, 80, 70, 90?
I'm in it to win it.
Okay.
I'm in it to win it, and then people know that their own is in it to win it. I'm not winning it for me. I'm winning it for us. Together we'll win.
So Marie, when we're talking about corruption and the problems in the country, Marie indicted the churches, and you are part of the religious community. You agree? She said that the churches are the main problems in our country.
Any institution that is run by any institution that is run by human being without frailty, it will affect the institution will run. So corruption is not something that's a magic. It's human being that carry on corruption. If I will build my church and just me, my family, and all the money is raised in the church is just meant to support, will become the ministers, a minister, MINRSTR, then a minister of the gospel, then it means that the priority is misplaced, it's corruption. So that's why I say corruption will be fought not just in government, but in the schools, in the churches, in our business institution. If our institution have a means of accountability, they will get to know that the next things are serious. We are building a culture that will shun corruption. So I agree with Mary. While it's true that there are some churches that are corrupt, not all churches are corrupt.
Okay, so Reverend Sam, we are talking about churches. And I think our last thing is kind of on the religious front. So I just want to ask whether, given that the church is corrupt, and you also spoke earlier about Western culture, and all those things, you are kind of going against Western culture and all of that. Reverend, why are you a Christian? Because Christianity is not original to Africa. And you were talking about, Western culture. Oh, why they want to bring homosexuality? It's not permitted in our society. But you are promoting the Eurocentric agenda and spreading Christianity, the Christian philosophy amongst our people, and not something Afrocentric.
So is Christianity Western?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think so?
I think our people, they were not Christian when the missionary went to Liberia.
Who were they?
They were the Westerners.
Our people. Who were they?
You can call them, maybe you can call them spiritualists.
Okay.
They,
So let
they
me
communicate.
get
Yes.
back to answer your question. One of the mistakes that our forefathers, our brothers and sisters who went to Africa, that returned, was the mentality that was given them for their reason for going back to Africa, to Liberia or that place. It told them that they were going to Christianize and civilize the people. A mission to civilize and Christianize the people. So they went with that mission of going as a missionary to a place where the people who are living there are savages, who know God, and that was a misconception. So they went there. They call it cultural violence, where you bring your culture on other people. You disregard the culture and just break them apart. So it was instituted where they even use the schools, and it came at a point where they will tell our people, you have to be civilized enough to own your own land. So government instituted a policy where they will seize the land from the people, and so you have to be civilized enough. Now, in that process, you must send your sons or daughter to live with one of our brothers and sisters who came from the south. And you live with them, they will change your name, you either John or something. And if the government says you must be civilized enough, so it means that who determines the civilization is the government, not you. So your sons and daughters will live with them, will live with other people. Then your land can be getting back again. How you will see the Chipos, then the name change to Chesin, and the Tipo, then the name change, and the rest of it.
And you are Solomon too.
Solomon is a Jewish name. It's not a Western name.
But
What I'm saying is, like, my grandmother was part of the process too. She was taken from a village in Bonkande and brought by the president's wife, Barclay's wife, to Monrovia. Since she left her village, she now went back there until she died. You understand that?
Mhm.
So now the rich culture. Now, let me let you know that we are, like I said earlier, we are the existence. We are the extension of the existence of those who lived before us. We are unique in ourselves. For someone to come and abuse that uniqueness and to turn us into what we are not, it creates a conflict in that space. And even the people who went back, they were part of us. So they were indoctrinated and influenced with that philosophy. Think that, oh, you are a white man now, you are a white man, type of white man. going back to black people who are, even we ourselves in America, we are doing it. We come here now, we think that we know America so much, our people, they know nothing.
Yeah,
We even
but
say that
Reverend, the outstanding question, given the level of education you got, why are you spreading Christian philosophy and not Afrocentrism? Something, because you're talking about culture right now, and what you are preaching as a metal guy, you went to school to be a theologian, and I'm talking about, I think that Christian theology you study, and you've been pounding this thing in our people's heads. Why is that so? Why?
pounding what now?
The Christianity, the philosophy that is not ours.
Now, when you tend to say that, it means that you disconnect yourself from the existence of the people who existed before you. Now you are not just who you are now. Your existence is tied to so many people that have lived before you, that have lived before your father, that have lived before your father, and that line is so long.
I agree.
So, now, you don't know who they were before they produced who you call spiritualists today. Let's be careful.
But the people that lived before 1847, they were not Christian.
No.
No, they were not.
Hold on now. Hold on. Now, you see, what we're trying to do here is to, that we're talking about civilization, quote unquote, civilization and Christianity. We think that those who are civilized in Liberia, everybody's a Christian because they're civilized. Even those who are Christians, they say they are Christian. Why? I can read and write. They just attribute reading and writing or wearing tie and shirt to be
So, Robin,
Christianity.
given that you are from, you say your origin, your grandfather is from SINOE, and you gave your genealogy earlier. Why are you worshiping a Jewish God?
Oh my God. Why would you say that?
Yeah, but Jesus is not African. I mean,
Oh no.
he's not from SINOE.
So now
He's not from Hutu.
I just told you that you are the extension of the existence of those who lived before you.
Yeah, but Reverend, you
Hold on
can.
now. Let me take you back to it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So those who lived before you,
Mhm.
they have lived millions of years before you even became who you are today.
Right.
And if you leave, your children or children's children will become an extension of you. So in you embodies that spirit of the people. You are not just alone.
I
You have,
agree.
if you kind of realize that we are connected, all of us in the world. So when the labels distinguish us, or Jewish God, or Jewish, no, leave that. So if you trace your background, you kind of realize that it was just one man. You are just a vessel. This person you is a vessel that carried the existence, the extension of the existence of the people. Or handsome young man. But in this young man, you are carrying people. So in this people, in the book of
So,
John, chapter
Reverend,
1,
I understand. I understand where you're going with
in
all
the
of
book
that.
of John, chapter 1, verse 1, don't let me preach on your something
Yeah,
here.
that's fine, Reverend. That's
Please,
your
I'm talking
training,
about
so
this one.
that's fine.
They say in the beginning was the word was with God, the word was God. The
And you
word became
believe that.
flesh. The word became flesh and dwelt amongst us. The word became flesh. The word take on a vessel like you. In you, you are the extension of the existence of people who lived before you. When you are dead and gone, that vessel is left. You continue into another process of life. What I'm saying is very, very deep. So there's no Jewish God, there's no Arab God, but one God. He's a God Almighty, the one who our people served, the one who the Arabs served, the one who the Westerners served. He's God Almighty, the beginner, the creator of life, the empowerment of life. He is God. He's not a
Yeah,
Jewish
but
God.
brother, when you call yourself a Christian, then you are not. I mean, because Christians, those that follow Jesus, and Jesus is not God to our
So
ancestors.
if you call yourself a crewman or a supplement,
Mhm.
does it mean that you are not from SINOE County?
I don't know, Robbie, what that question is going.
If you call yourself a crewman, does it mean that you're not from Liberia?
No, you are from Liberia.
Ah. What's the common denominator?
What, of Liberia?
Liberian. But this Liberian man is a crewman or a supplement.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And this supplement is living in SINOE County. Or you're born in SINOE County, or you came from SINOE County. So what I'm saying, in essence, let's forget about labor and think about this God who we serve.
No, but then why are you
Labeling,
reading? Why are you
labeling.
reading the Bible then, Reverend? You are not
No, no,
saying
no, no,
God did
no.
not give you a
The
book.
Bible, I mean, even Jesus himself said, "Our time will come that they will worship me in truth and in spirit."
So, but you just quoted the book of Job, for example, which is
I
not
quoted John. I didn't quote John. I quoted John.
John. Okay, in the
Yeah,
beginning
John
was the
1
Word, and the
1.
Word was with God. Even though that was plagiarized from Socrates and those people, they were talking about the logos concept, and that was John borrowed and put in the Bible.
So,
Even those of you that read theology,
Socrates, Socrates and Jesus, who lived before their friend.
Socrates was before Jesus.
Well, okay.
Yes.
So let's come to the realization that God is our common denominator. If you choose to worship God in your way and style, it's your choice. Let's not be carried away by labels. Because the labels have created conflict around the world. People claim to have this God. You can't claim to have God. You don't hold God to yourself. God is bigger. This is what the Kola may call him Daya. That space. He's the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. We just living in the middle of his existence. Don't want to claim it to ourselves. So to claim God to yourself, it means that you can control God. This is not what we need to do.
So, Reverend, what is your understanding? What is God? If you are asked, what is God?
God, how the crew may call him Yeshua. Is
Yeah. So,
God is
Joshua in our language it means elder.
no,
Joshua,
no, no, no.
elder.
Go beyond. Go beyond that elder. What does Yeshua mean?
Joshua those are the elders.
No,
When you say
don't use
Joshua
the
or
word elder.
Joshua,
I want to give the true meaning of that elder.
I mean, does it have fake meaning
Yeah,
and
no.
true meaning?
Hold on. Now I will call you. Let's take for example. I will call you Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm referred to as Solomon. This is my name. We
Mm-hmm.
say, what is Solomon? He said, Solomon is no. I'm not. What is Solomon? Solomon means peaceful, but I'm being referred to as peaceful. So I answer that name. It doesn't mean that I am, but I'm just giving that name. So what I mean by Yeshua, when we say it doesn't just refer to elder, but it means something that it gave to the elders. That the meaning I want you to catch, then you'll get the concept of what God is. Because it's somebody that we ourselves can name. It's based upon our expression of Him, our experience. We just need something that would tend to be like Him, but it's not Him. He's bigger than our own understanding to interpret Him in our own way.
I mean, so I still you are confusing me, Reverend. This
Yeah,
thing
because
exists. Mm,
confusion start with learning start with confusion.
okay. So, but you have to disabuse the student of the confusion.
Uh-huh.
So if you have an agent which you do not know and you call it God, I mean, why give it a label though? Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Who calls God God?
I mean, you're the religious people.
Oh, hold on now. How do I call my God in my dialect?
Uh, which language are you?
The
Because I
crew,
don't.
Sapo, crew, Sapo, Pele,
Okay. So
Mano.
in Sapo, I mean,
Uh-huh.
but when we say Nyoswa, it's
Uh-huh.
elder. It's not God per se.
No, no. It's the name we gave the elder.
Mm.
That name means something. It doesn't mean elder. It means something. But we'll give it to the elder.
Because
Yes,
the word, if you break it down, Reverend, nyo is somebody.
uh-huh.
Swa is old. So nyo swa is the older person or elder.
So let's have another time to have this before the message of my people is forgotten about, because that's a whole discussion. But in essence, what I'm trying to say, we're only describing that which our mind cannot comprehend. Yeshua, Amon Yeshua, he's the Alpha, the beginning. He's the oldest of the oldest. You understand that? So we tend, even God, Lord, we tend to call people Lord. That idea is far beyond us. Yeshua is given to others, Kroba is given to others, but it's far beyond their own understanding. The environment call him, how the environment call him, man? Oh, help me to be good now. Now, I talk about the Gola call him, yes, I mean, I'm Daya.
So, Reverend, like you said, whatever we call him, right? Or I don't know what. First of all, before I ask my question,
Based upon your experience.
When you say he, when you say him, is that the pro? I mean, you are using it as in the pronoun he or him. I mean, like a God man, in other words.
So I just asked somebody yesterday whether God was male or woman.
So tell me, you studied that stuff. Tell us, is God man or woman? Why you use the pronoun he or him?
So now you see what we are. So I just asked someone yesterday. I said, is God man or woman? The person said God man. I said, why? Because you're made to think that God is man. So why God can embody both gender? Why God can be above both gender? Because God is. He's the I am. He's life.
So,
The
Reverend, why you
turn.
use the word he? In what context are you using the word he?
Because of man.
So God is being depicted as you.
That's the best I can relate to him.
Okay.
Yes. But God can be a woman. Woman can call God. I mean,
but the book you read, the Bible, you know, God is called Father, and the last time I checked, woman is not a father.
That's good. So
So okay,
the same book I read,
mm,
God said, let's make man in our image. Let me what? Man in our image and likeness. And he made what? Man, both male and female. How will God make man, then man is both male and female?
yeah, but brother, from my understanding, the word man there is a substitute, is the old version for the word human. You know, so you was not, yeah. So human is man is the old version for human. So
Okay.
he's saying, well, let me human.
Okay.
Yes.
So human comprise what?
Male and a female.
Oh, okay. So if he made human in his image and likeness, like us, like him, like them, then is it possible that the human are made came from this God that is both male and female?
If you ask me, a man is the one that manufactured God. It's not the other way around.
No. This is why man comprehension of God is based upon a limitation. But God is
Because
bigger than man.
man is the creator of God. God did
No,
not make man, man made God.
no. Man inability to comprehend that which made him. Like I said to you, we are the continuation of the existence of those who existed before us. And if you tend to change the existence that lay before us, you come right back to where God said, let's make man in our image. Let's make him in our image.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with the philosopher Protagoras, you know, not Pythagoras, but Protagoras, who said man is the measure of all things. I agree with him. So
Man is a
God,
measure of all things
especially,
within his control.
yeah, especially the guy in the Bible was manufactured by man, and that's why he gets angry. That's why he does all the different things. Everything that human being does, the God in the Bible does that because man is the one that created him.
That's I mean, I like this philosophical. Discussion that we have gone from the level of our
Yeah,
district.
because I think it was only a agenda, and that's why I brought it up. Because the question that I wanted to discuss was that we agree on: does God exist? If so, is He omnibenevolent? Does He love everybody? I think that was the question that we wanted to ask before we leave. So the question is: does God exist? If so, is He omnibenevolent?
So to ask whether God exists, to ask whether you exist as a person.
Yeah, but I'm distinct from God, though.
Oh, no, hold on now. To ask whether God exists is to ask yourself first whether you exist as a person. Do you exist?
Yes, I do, and that's
Does
why I'm
death
talking to you right
does,
now.
does death cut off your existence?
Death,
Yeah.
yeah, death is the non-existing of man.
Okay. So man become the vessel.
You say man becomes this vessel.
So
Which vessel?
that which your wife can call you a handsome man, that vessel of yours, that thing that life is in.
Uh-huh.
So if life ceases to exist in that vessel, is what you call death.
Yeah, death is the disappearing of this physical body that we're talking to right
So
now.
until you were born, you were not alive.
Uh, I mean, I don't. When you say until you exist. So
Until
it
you were
follows
born,
that.
until you were born,
Uh-huh.
that spirit of yours did not exist until it came into that body of yours. You were born.
Or spirit.
You get it?
No, I mean, you're talking about spirit. Yeah, so we're in the realm of metaphysics right now. I want to stay in the physical realm right now because you are going beyond the physical.
So
Let's
now,
try to uncomfort because I thought you were talking about my body right now, which is physical.
your body, this vessel of yours,
Uh-huh.
this corruptible vessel of yours, will be laid down and be covered by the grace of God, and that life of yours will be left out of your body. That's why I say you are the continuation, or you are the extension of the existence of those who existed
So,
before
Reverend, let's
you.
go back to the question you're talking about. Me, does God exist?
I'm coming to the question now. I said
Okay.
to even ask the question whether God exists, to ask yourself whether you exist. The father you exist, the question is, where do you take your existence from?
From my
You don't
father
say
and mother.
where your father and mother take their existence from.
Really, you're going to infinite regression. That's what you're going to do. So we'll be
So
going
that
back and
everything
back.
has, that is what the crewman call the Yeshua, the Alpha, the beginning.
Mhm.
So then it begins after him, and all of us who are existing, we are existing within his time.
So,
And he will
Reverend, then
live
it begs the question, though, how that first thing got there?
how it got there.
Yeah.
Good. At least if you have a pen in your hand, you can see from the end, you see from the top to the edge of the pen. You get it?
Hmm.
It's within your control.
Okay.
You know how it starts, you know how it ends. Because it is in your control. And likewise, God, the pen doesn't ask, how did my maker make me?
But the pen is inanimate. It's not something that is
Okay,
living.
okay, okay. So you see how it looks now? You are existing because there's an existence that existed before you existed, or before you exist. And their existence caused you to exist. Their existence said,
Reverend, what you are doing, that's philosophical ejaculation. I want you to be practical. Like, when you say God, what exactly? Because you say the first thing, because you are talking about Joshua going all the way to the beginning. You say, because you asked me how you came to be. I said my parents. And you say, how are your parents? So it's from parent, because without human being, you can't have another human being.
no.
Yes.
So
So
how you going to
if you
keep
say
people
in other
existing?
words, God is human being, then maybe you can give birth to a human being. But
No,
God is not
hold
human
on.
being.
Let me give a short something in Genesis. The Bible says God formed man out of the dust of the ground. He formed and he breathed his existence into that vessel. And that vessel became a living being. So that formation, which is the vessel of ours, was breathed into us by this God for our existence to start. And we start to live as a person. He gave us the power to procreate. So it's just like his existence placed in you makes you to live the way you are living, and he said, produce after your kind. Now I'm not now creating now. You carry on the job of procreating. So that's why you meet your wife and you procreate. But the life that he placed in you, that's why I say you are the extension of the existence of that life from the past into the present. And you push it into your children, and your children will push it into their children. But this verse of ours will be gone
So,
when we are
but
when
Reverend,
we are dead.
what you just said, that it proves my point, though, when I said God was manufactured by man. Because when you say God took something, earth, and breathed into it, that's anthropomorphism. You are giving human quality to something that is not human.
Let, let
And
me let
also
me
man
beg
is making God right there.
let me beg for the show to end. We can have a different discussion.
Okay, sir. All
Yes,
right.
on another day, so that we'll be focused just on that thing. Then maybe by the grace of God, your viewers we understand and get taught to us, because somebody came with the mindset of understanding our district transformation plan.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
but I appreciate the question so much.
All right, no problem. No, I mean, I brought it up because we have behind the scene discussion. I didn't just segue from our original topic.
And
I
I'll
want
tell
to
you,
give
a bit
you.
longer than our district discussion.
Okay, okay. So we'll plan next time and talk about it better.
But
But
let's do that.
if you have closing thoughts with respect to your campaign,
No,
I
I will do.
personally, I wish you well,
Yes.
in your endeavor. But go ahead if you have closing thoughts.
Let me say this to us, especially, I mean, you who have this big platform of SINOEs from Sonkli. You know, we've been influenced by international politics that play on our domestic politics and brings economic development to us. So make our people fight among ourselves, then for our people to understand one another to push ahead our development agenda. So with the other side that have this platform, we should use them to promote not just reconciliation, promote that togetherness amongst our people, and ensure that we can live up the very agenda of our people, their own aspiration for leadership. Let our people see the agenda, and let our people make that decision on the very agenda. Bring all of our parties to the table. Like, I'm interested in SINOE County. Those who are running to become representative, whatever it is, bring them to the table, ask them the necessary question. Let us stay behind from endorsing people. Let's make it more neutral, so our people will get equipped with the requisite knowledge of who can best represent them. It will help us to promote a common agenda in our place, and will help us to move our development in a positive way. We existed for quite a long time to still be behind, my brother. Greenville gone, all the major area gone. It is us who are on the side to do what we're supposed to do and put our people together to ensure that we can bring development to our counties. And the people of District number 17, I will fight for you. I'm not a politician, I'm a development specialist. I believe and have this passion. If we work together, we can make our district the development model of Liberia. This is the passion I'm coming with. And you can have a better life now while you live, and we can pass this better life to your children and your children's children. God bless you for listening to me.
Okay, Robin, thank you so much for your time. I really, really enjoyed the conversation. And I want to bring you back next time so we can talk about, you can educate us better about the existing of of Nyoswa.
Yes.
All right, have a fine day, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bless you, man. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right. All right, so that's Reverend Solomon Muin, representative aspirant of Montserrado County District 17. All right, so it's our own son from SINOE County. He wants to participate in the national politics of our nation, and which is our every citizen's right and to participate in the political process in the country. But let me view some of your comments here before I let you go. Marie said, the Westerners make you guys to believe this nonsense book. That storybook was written in a way to control your mental slavery. Okay, that's Marie's view over there. I'm not. When the Reverend comes by next time, maybe you can take a shot at. All right. James Moin, the host is more religious than political. Let's focus on the topic. Okay, thank you, thank you. I mean, again, the guest and I would talk about it, and that's why I brought it up. I didn't just arbitrarily I brought it up. Um, Bobby said, for me, I believe God truly do exist, but not in the way the white man is trying to portray him with the Bible. Okay, in what way does he exist? I'd like to hear from Bobby. In what way? If it is not a white man's way, is that the black man way? If so, what is the black man way? My brother, let our culture tradition. We are Africans. Let's stop deceiving our people with the Bible. Okay, so which book should we use as Africans? Do you have a text for us? How should we worship? and we shouldn't follow the Western gods, you said. I hear some African talking down on nose ring, tattoos, etc. These are all African cultures. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think our people used to do the piercing before. That's true. They're just doing it in a different form right now. You're right, Marie. Reverend, please tell me, do you believe your traditional herbalist is a witchcraft or something like that? Do you believe that? That was a good question. Unfortunately, the Reverend left before I see it. They were living by spirituality, tradition, and cultural belief until because but Bobby, given that the Africans, there, I mean, we are many, we have different cultural practices. Which one is valid? I mean, everything can be correct though. Some one, I mean, we got multiple beliefs and different practices. I think some should also be wrong, everything right. So tell the correct one. Our people were civilized before those Westerners were brainwashed by the. Okay, Marie, what is civilization? That's what we want to know. What do we mean when you say somebody is civilized? What exactly is that? Our people were civilized, but what constitutes civilization? Telling them to wait for Jesus, you know. Yeah, the people still waiting for Jesus to come back and carry them to heaven. I'm surprised he doesn't know Christianity is and the Western indoctrination. Jesus is not a black man. Well, some people can make the case and say Jesus is a black man because the Bible, you know, but then from the area because the Roman, not Roman, but the Egypt from Egypt, we're talking about Egypt back then was the cradle. So when you see Jesus around that area, you know, so people they are saying Jesus and they describe his hair, you know, is woven and those things. So they are guessing that Jesus was an African because where we have Israel right now, it was part of Africa before, you know. So the assumption is Jesus, some people are arguing that Jesus is an African or was an African, I should say. Let's see. But the church is west. Okay. All right. So these are some of the comments of the viewers. We want to say thank you so much for following VOSD. We'll be back here Monday. Yeah, join us on Monday. We'll be here. We will be looking for another guest who want to poke into the. We want to bring the political gurus of SINOE County. So we're looking for people that will give us that will do proper analysis of the election with respect to the participants and the electoral trends in SINOE County and tell us, you know, who has a better prospect to win with the senatorial race and in the various districts in the county. And for district number 3, I already know, or the senatorial race as well. I already know who's going to win. Of course, Mr. Zaza will win will win the senatorial race hands down. Whether the people like it or not, you know, the detractors. We have to make sure that Milton Teji is replaced. We gave him an opportunity to develop SINOE as superintendent. He failed. As a senator, he failed. So we can pull him back. No, we'll give the man the chance. So anybody who is campaigning for Milton Teji, of course, then you don't love yourself. You don't love your people. You don't love your county. That's what it means. Because Milton Teji is a living failure. He celebrates everything that is diabolical. He brought Nabisla to us and he said, hey, God killed Nabisla. I mean, how can somebody in a red man vote for such a man? He brought Quentin Duncan. He said, I took Quentin Duncan and Sonny Boy Noah to the slaughter hall. These are people he brought to us. So, the senatorial race, I mean, I want to know because I will continue to propound and detail the principality, to be religious, the iniquities, I should say, the iniquities of Milton Teji. Do you want somebody who was declared guilty for corruption? Do you want somebody who was on tape, who is saying corruption part? I get it, I can't deny it. Do you want somebody who stole Patricia Flomo car? Do you want somebody who they can put out of the Senate chamber because he's disturbing? Do you want somebody who from his own town, Tajuwon or Unification Town, he's taking 46% from payroll because the people they are not giving tips when they get paid? I mean, I can go down the line. The man who made companies ran away from the county, is that the man you want? So you are seeing Zaza, on the other hand, an international a university in these United States, based in New York. The people are leaving from here, they're going to Liberia to get a man's doctorate degree in development, human capacity building. Do you want to turn your back on that man and go to Milton TJ, who is a noisemaker? All he does is to regurgitate old school words then that tired words that we don't want to hear anymore. Your problem in the country is that the deficit of words? No, you don't have words problem. You have corruption problem. And Milton TJ is a corruption indictee and convertee, you are convicted, all of that. So you can't go. So the SINOE race for the senatorial seat is crystal clear that Mr. Zaza is the choice of the people. Because I don't think my people love corruption. No, we don't want somebody who on radio and cussing people out because you have different opinion. Somebody will fire himself from the caucus and say, oh, I don't get nothing to do with SINOE County again. No, that's not what we want. We want a man that TJ himself will praise and say he built the first high school outside the capital city. We want the man TJ himself will say, you know what? When he was working at the Ministry of Finance, I was a janitor. You know, TJ calling himself janitor. And Zaza was the director for BDGA. TJ will tell you all those things. TJ will say Zaza will get the high bachelor degree, and he can't tell what he got. He said he went to Harvard University, but he said the government refused to pay for a diploma, so he can't go for it. Even though he has served as information minister under Taylor, they took the whole National Bank of the Republic of Liberia and they carried into the wet flour, and they were dividing the money. TJ did not go free his degree. No. TJ was superintendent for SINOE. The Honor Ellen Johnson-Sally will give her credit. Billions of dollars was pumped into the country, and Liberia and SINOE County got her share. Over $10 million went to SINOE County under the watch of Milton TJ as superintendent. Our people earmarked 74 projects. TJ abandoned everything. He could not use that $10 million to go get a PhD from Harvard University, where he said Jesse Johnson was the spokesperson. And when you look at the convocation for that year, Jesse Johnson was nowhere. You see, so we have the pathological and congenial liar who wants to be our leader again. And I know my people of SINOE County, because TJ tried before. He tried. He tried to take the hope of the people from the House of Representatives, Mr. Zaza. So he brought all these political butterflies. He supported them, and they were all beaten flat twice. And so now the man, he brought himself to the political slaughter hall. He coming because he's saying all his disciples saying they were all beaten. So TJ is the one that we want to beat. And that would be the day in SINOE County, October 10, when the election results are announced. And Honorable Zaza is declared as the winner. That's the day you will see SINOE County, all the unborn babies, they will come outside to jubilate and say, yes, here come our son who will sponsor a bill to have community college in SINOE County, something that Greater Dogina refused to do for 133 years. The people will be celebrating, here come our son who gave us access to telecommunication service. The man, when your woman gave birth, you go there. You will say, whatever help you need, I will give it to you. The man who was giving plethora of academic scholarship to students. And not like TJ who will go on national radio and say, no, we should not use the county development funds to educate our children. That's not what it's for. No. So we need a Zaza. Zaza is saying, I need to be replaced by good leaders. So before I leave, let me empower our young people. Let it be up to task. Let it meet up the global challenge or challenges. And that's what Zaza is doing. Some of the students he sponsored, the university, they are all working with ECOWAS and different departments in the country. When I went to Liberia 2020, the representative for SINOE County District Number 2, Sanson Weah, came with one of his friends. And the guy asked Mr. Zaza and said, Mr. Zaza, you know me? The Papa said, my son, I don't know you. He said, Papa, I will never forget what you did for me. Right now, I'm a director. I got 4 houses, you know. That scholarship you gave me, that what made me who I am today. So thank you, Zaza, Mr. Zaza. Thank you so much. I can remember that I went to the Ministry of Education, when you were deputy minister at the Ministry of Education. I went there and you helped me out. And that's why I'm surviving already. We want to hear more of their testimonies. And that Milton Teddy, when people, they talk about, oh, that man has stole. I mean, it's a terrible image for SINOE and the country at large, because this guy is a Liberian lawmaker. It's not only for SINOE County. So we want people, when the president wants people to go out of the country to fetch ideas, development ideas from other countries, they call Zaza. Say, go to Rwanda. You talk to Paul Kagame, what is he doing? After a few years, Rwanda is one of the best countries in Africa. They send Zaza there. They don't send TJ anywhere. So SINOE County, October 10 is the day of liberation, to free yourself. If you want somebody who will celebrate the death of your children, I mean, from Senate Toba to Nambesla lawmaker, the man celebrating. Oh my God, kill that one. So people of SINOE County, it's up to you. For district number 3, we have told you already, it's College with the Foley. Number 1, since 1847, we have not had a female lawmaker. And it is not about, it should not be about gender anyway. It should be about a qualified, a competent lawmaker or female. So we are assessed, the guys that are running in district number 3, that want to fill the gap of Honorable Zaza. The best is College with the Foley. Whether people like it or not. The woman is not somebody who come in to build personal houses. Like our brother we try already at the port. He failed us. The man can't even renovate the buildings at the port of Greenville. No, he can't do it. He can. He building personal houses all over the place. But then he come into us and say, oh, I'm the best person. No, not one. That's how you put there is here. We need a College with the Foley who has already built houses before she go into politics. She lives in the United States, but she literally she living on 2 continents. You know, she today this week she will be here because she got things going on here. She had to settle there before she permanently moved. But she always on ground in Liberia, in SINOE. She will leave from Los Angeles or air conditioned building and go and say, I want to live with the people. We will get on the Kingdom, we'll get on that old shabby boat and we'll go everywhere. I'm not better than you. Now, man, when they're ready, you say, they put a window on you, a 4-wheel Jeep, so the dust can't even touch him. You know? So College with the Foley, who is coming to support the women as well. The women, our men say, no, man, woman can't do what man can do. And the people she coming to, women can't do what men can do. No, woman can be a lawmaker according to our men. All right. So SINOE County, district number 3, and the senatorial race we know already. Now, district number 2 and district number 1, we are still doing our analysis. So we'll tell you sooner rather than later who will win those 2 districts. You know, the incumbent has a tough battle to fight. He was lucky to win with 26 votes when he contested. I know, but we are here to help our people out. Again, join us Monday. I got this number from the voter registration. Let me see what I can share them with you. Voter registration numbers. Let me see. My boy sent it to me the other day. Let me see what I can get to them here quickly and share some of the numbers. They are not too organized, so they get kind of a little difficult. So, for example, they say Tajawan registered voters. That's Sonon Town, 1,278 votes. Jacksonville, 784 votes. People that register actually. One way, 47 or 447 or 467 for 467 persons registering one way. And that one way, TJ, depending on, you say, I was listening to him the other time, one of the campaign nonsense you're on. He said, I want all of you to be that the people in one way. Don't vote for anybody. You know, I think Mabutu or somebody voted, and one person did not get a vote in one way. So Milton tells you, repeat this. That's a good example. And it will happen, but the votes will not be in your favor. The people are one way, given the suffering that Milton Teje put them through. Up to now, one way does not have no good school there. No, Teje, when they build one kitchen over there, you call it high school. One way people, they voted, they gave you 100 votes, and you did nothing for them. So yes, we agree with Teje, one way people will vote, but they will vote against you. Guess that's what they're going to do. All right. So the total people in Tajo have registered 2,592. Okay. Wea Town, 1,050. Newford Town, 1,080. Total number in plan, 2,130. I mean, the numbers are just all over the place, so they are kind of a little confusing. Yen or unification, 1,004, 1,141. They got Boye, 265. So the numbers are not organized, so they're just all over the place. Vubadi, 566. City Town, 750. Pine Town, 1,100. Okay, so those are some of the numbers. Let me see. Over here, you see, got more numbers here. So you got ED1, ED2, ED3. Let's see where. I mean, the numbers are just all over the place, so I don't want to get the wrong figure here. But you got the way it is sent, the numbers are all messed up. So I don't know which is which. But I want to say thank you so much for joining the Voice of SINOE. I want to say thanks to our special guest, Reverend Muin, for coming to share his ideas with us. We appreciate him and wish everyone contesting in the race the best, but we want the best for Liberia, for SINOE County, for all the counties in the country. Have a fabulous day.